Welcome to the Elevate Your Event podcast, where we talk about how to plan and execute an unforgettable event that will dazzle your guests and generate more income for your organization. From fundraising and securing trendy auction items to event production and logistics, get the best tips and advice from seasoned fundraising and event professionals who have been in your shoes.
Welcome back to the Elevate Your Event podcast, where we try to talk about ways that we can help you make your fundraising event even better. And so we've got Elise Negebauer here from us from Handbid.
Hi.
Diana Duplanche.
Hey, y'all. What's up? Hey, I'm happy to be back. Thanks for having me.
No, it's been a little while.
And this is my first time I get to have a podcast with Elise.
Wow.
I know.
And it's funny, it's not even St. Patrick's Day, but yet you're wearing the green jacket.
I know.
Okay, pretty
I wanted
sweet.
to go bright colors today.
The two of us, are we Christmas?
I know, we're Christmas. We're just
I don't know.
jumping
I
around
wore the
holidays.
uniform, and you guys are wearing like really bright colors.
Yeah,
So
but you have the Handbid logo, which is kind of cool.
you do, you do, yeah.
Yeah, the new one.
Very awesome. Okay.
Right.
Real quick, a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. If you're enjoying this podcast, please share it. We love that. Subscribe to our podcast.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have any questions or comments or things that you would like for us to talk about on the show, by all means, please share this with us as well.
And I'd like to say this week we had somebody reach out to us through our website, and they indicated that they learned about Handbid from the podcast. And I have a conversation scheduled with her for Friday.
There you go.
I'm so excited. People who are listening, thank you.
And Jeff,
You're not on any other podcast, right? So it's this one for sure.
Jeff, what's
pretty
the
awesome.
best way for them to let us know what they'd like to hear?
Oh, well, they can reach out to us through comments on the podcast itself, or they can go to our website and fill out a lead form and say, I would like for you to talk about this on the podcast.
And I want Diana to talk about it. Just kidding.
there
Just
you
kidding.
go.
No, I don't
If
want
you'd
to
like
plug myself.
to suggest any guests, or if you'd like to suggest cast members as well, we can certainly do that. If you want more Diana,
Cast
a little bit
members.
less Jeff or whatever, let us know.
That's hilarious. I never thought of myself as a cast member.
Cast member.
Okay.
Well, you know, you don't work for Disney.
Well, this
But if
is-
you did,
this
that's
is
what you would be
true.
called.
This is true. Awesome.
Okay, so our topic today is revenue generators that are not related to your auction
Yes.
or your paddle raise.
Yes.
Is that right?
It is.
It is.
And this actually makes me think of one of my clients way back in the day. I went to her event. This is when I was living in Northern Virginia, and she herself was an event planner for big DC events, and she was voluntold that she was going to be the auction manager for the school. And she said, Diana, I'm not trying to be ugly. I said, okay, go ahead. She said, I'm going to take every dime I can from these people because I'm going to have 5 games
Legally.
and we're going to have
Take them legally.
Right. Silent auction
Yeah.
and live auction. And so she had everything everywhere. And I was like, you know, this is why we do these extra little games.
Yep.
Right. Well, we do them for a lot of reasons. I mean,
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why you would do it. I mean, obviously, one is it's another way to connect with somebody at your event
right.
who may not be ready to just write you a check to your charity. But it's also a way to get things sort of transitioned or warmed up too, I would say.
It's also,
yes.
I mean, it's entertaining. You don't want
It's only
people
fun
to be
if you
bored,
win,
right?
Elise. It's only fun if you win. You know that.
I know. I really know. But
but what you're saying is it's giving people something to
Yes.
do.
That's right.
right? You don't want anyone bored.
Right.
Oh, boy.
At your event.
You really don't want
Sounds
a
like
boring
another
event.
podcast, how to make your event not boring.
Yeah. Oh my
For
gosh.
sure.
Well, there's some helpful ones on here, and being that you are type A, we do have
Yes.
your list. And then
Yes,
I noticed
I am.
that we were kind of messing with your list a little bit, so it's probably not nearly as neat and organized as you would like, but
It's okay. I can
You're
check
gonna-
things
you're gonna
off,
make it?
Jeff.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm a list checker.
I think it's a very good list.
I do too.
I love
Yeah.
lists, so let's go through it.
Let's do it.
Throw some out there for us.
Okay, so I would say let's talk about what happens at golf tournaments, because I feel like they kind of live in their own little space of they can kind of have some really specific games.
They can,
sure.
and they can get out of control. But let's go with the common ones. For
Okay,
sure.
all right. So one that we see is a mulligan, That
Yes.
is why don't we describe a mulligan for all the listeners out there who don't know what a mulligan is?
Yeah, so a mulligan is going to give somebody an extra shot. There's a couple of different ways to do it.
Okay.
So you can do like a group mulligan, so you can sell the foursome mulligans. And then if you're doing a scramble tournament, what that means is that you're going to have all four players hit a ball, and then from one of the players' positions, you're all four going to hit a ball again. Mm-hmm. And so what you tend to see is if all four of those players have not hit a good shot, they can then ask or take one of their quote-unquote mulligans, and then they can take one more shot.
It's like a do-over.
Kind of do-over.
Okay.
Yes, and what always makes me laugh when you see charity tournaments start, and everybody for whatever reason thinks they all get a mulligan on the first tee, which is actually not true. Those are not usually
like,
included.
come on.
You got to pay for those. So mulligans are a very common way to do it. You'll see people either buy them with cash at the door. Maybe it's 1 for $20 or like 3 for $50 or something like that. Sometimes they give you even a different colored ball as the record of the mulligan.
I haven't seen that. Okay.
Whatever you do, my strong recommendation for all those people that want to get as much money as possible out of the people, like your friend,
Right.
don't put too many mulligans in your golf tournament, or that golf tournament is going to go on for 6 hours or longer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I've seen people have unlimited mulligans, and I've seen people buy 15 or 20 of them. And, hey, it's great cash to your event, but
So how does a mulligan differ from something that I usually see called a free throw from the green?
well, that would probably be you using your hands to advance a golf ball, which is not
Yes,
legal. In the,
not the same.
That's not the
okay.
same.
So you just toss it out there.
yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
I've seen.
What's the one with the string? Do you know that one?
Oh, there's a variety of them out there with string. So there's one where you can buy a certain piece of string, and then that's how much. That's how
can move
close
it,
to the
maybe,
you can
or-
move it that
Yeah.
close.
I have not heard of this.
I've seen that one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look. All I want to tell you, like, you can do closest to the pin, you can do closest to the
okay.
the longest drive. I've seen straightest drive. These are all contests you can do. People can they're either entered automatically and they win a prize, or you have people enter them. Mm-hmm. Either way, like, you just got to be a little careful in golf tournaments because those games take extra time.
Yeah.
I've seen some where you just put somebody on the green and they do a putt for dough.
Okay. Like a putting contest.
It is, and you get entered into a bigger prize. So say it's, $25 for 3 putts, and you're going to putt this 25 or 30-foot putt. And if you make it, then you're entered into, kind of another contest or a chance to win something.
And what do you think is a good price for something like that, like a putting green? You're participating. What do you see?
You have to kind of know your
Depends on
audience.
your audience,
And I would
for
say
sure.
also
Okay.
kind of what you've sold your foursome for.
Yep.
So if you're at I would say one of the higher end courses and people are paying $250 a golfer to play, or $1,000 a foursome, which is what we see a lot, you'll find people that'll pay $20, $40, $50, $60, $100 for raffle tickets or these types of things
Okay.
when they arrive.
Okay. That's
And you don't have to
awesome.
take cash. Software like ours or any of the other systems out there, a lot of them will enable you to kind of track that, if you're looking to do that.
Yes.
Or you can take both, have it accessible through credit cards, through software, and then also be able to enter that the cash was paid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do it out on the course. Mm-hmm. That's the other nice thing.
out on the course. I like that.
Yes.
One of the things that I heard of at a golf tournament that I feel as though could be fun for the golf tournament or any event is called a martini toss. Have y'all heard of this?
I want to hear more.
Yes.
know.
Well, it is literally it's a martini glass, and the participant is given an olive, and you toss an olive into the cup, into the glass, and if you get it, then I don't know if you're advanced or you win a prize or something like that, but you pay to participate in the martini toss.
And that's golf related, or
Jeff, there are libations at golf tournaments. I don't know if you know this.
there are.
I don't think of martinis at
I
golf,
know.
though.
It depends on what time of day everybody comes off the course, Elise.
I think
So-
you could do that. I've seen, obviously you can do, those types of contests. You can also get into, like we said, the mulligans, and you can also sell the raffle tickets, and you can, sell a variety of other types of like games and gimmicks at every single one of these holes. So
Yeah, that's
why not a
true.
martini
Yeah.
toss? You've seen the helicopter drop, right? Where they're dropping balls onto a green from a helicopter.
Not
Oh,
seen
yes.
this. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've seen them drop the ducks in a
Yeah.
duck race, but
Oh,
that's
cool.
not golf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! And we did one event where it was closest to the pin, and it was $1,000 a shot. And I kid you not, they sold 18 entries into this
Wow.
thing. It was pretty
That's
impressive.
amazing.
And you got 3 balls, and they went out about, I don't know, maybe 150 yards from
Yeah.
the green, and you had to hit it over water, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I like the idea of having each of these games or some of these games at a different hole. I think it really makes the tournament, I think, special. At the 6th hole, or you're going to do this, and at the 12th, you're going to do that. I mean, do you see that do people view it as, oh, this is fun? Or do they like, oh, this is taking so long?
If there's too many of them, it gets to the point where I think it's taking too long. Like we did one tournament for a famous baseball player, and on one hole you had to put on all this catching gear, okay, the mask and then you had to drive. There's another hole where you had to throw the ball up in the air and hit it with a baseball bat down. That was your drive down the fairway.
Okay.
Like I mean, at some point, when you watch someone throw the ball up in the air and like miss it 10 times in a row,
you're like, okay, we're going to be
Time to
here a
move on.
gonna
while.
throw that ball down. So they can get a little bit tough, but
Yeah.
So you want it to be fun,
Yeah.
but at
Yep.
the same time you don't want to kind of overdo it.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, we've seen it all. Potato cannons, you've seen those where you're firing there's a cannon on the golf course where it will fire your drive for you in a cannon,
Wow.
and you can pay for that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of times you'll find like the local live, long drive champion will participate, and you can pay for him to drive for your foursome. Mm-hmm. I've done that, and I think he was like, I don't know, we were on a par 4 uphill that's almost 500 yards. It is a really long hole, and I mean, this guy, I think we all paid him $50 to put the ball, 80 yards out from the green. on his
Sweet.
drive.
Might
So
be
it's
worth
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so let's kind of leave golf behind for a while, and let's move over to like more of a standard traditional gala where we see lots and lots of different things.
Okay.
So many things.
we're gonna go down a list, and it could be rapid fire. It could be let's pause and talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, what about a scenario of it's our 28th anniversary, and we're going to do things where we charge people $28. So maybe it's a $28 raffle ticket. Maybe it's a $28 donation. Do y'all see this successfully executed?
I think 28's hard.
I would
because
say
like
you're
round
definitely
numbers.
using software like Handbid to do that, because if you're using cash
the
for that,
math.
you're going to drive some people crazy.
Yes,
But for
that's
a
true.
50th anniversary, it might be perfect.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Very cool. So how about the gift card tree or the gift card grab?
I love those. They're
Yeah.
just
I think
so
it's
easy.
the best way to handle gift cards.
Yes.
When you go out and you get, Subway gift cards for $5 and all these other various like gift cards, and you're trying to figure out how to assemble them together into some sort of
Right.
meaningful auction item. Sometimes you just turn it into a raffle, and I think you're about to go through like a gigantic number of drawing / raffle types
Yes.
of games, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. So we see something like a wine pool, or we see something called the whiskey wagon, which is basically just a way to sell like a $25 ticket, and you don't know what you're going to get from the wine pool. So it's a similar concept. The whiskey wagon, I think, is a little bit more direct. Like, here is a whole wagon of whiskey. So you can buy a raffle ticket or a drawing ticket to try to win it, but you get to pull your whiskey wagon all the way to your vehicle. And
This
then,
has nothing to do with falling off the wagon
It
or
does
on.
not.
Okay.
Jeff, no.
I mean, I don't know if I want to be the guy that's walking out with a wagon of
Oh,
whiskey.
I do.
Like,
That
don't
sounds
judge.
fun.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Party
don't
at
judge.
Elise's.
I know.
Now, one thing I do like with the things like the wine pull or the gift cards is that everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a great way to have a very low priced item and let everyone participate. And then you're sure to win. It might be a $5 Subway card, but hey, at least you get lunch.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, spoken like Kenny Rogers. Everyone's a winner and everyone's a loser. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
But with those, which I don't think you mentioned, in most cases, you're buying some sort of like number. It is a raffle in the sense that you've hidden all the bottles of wine, okay, or you've turned the whiskey labels around, or you've done something where people don't really know what they're getting, and then you have to give them the range of, hey, guess what? We're doing a wine pool. You're going to get $2 Chuck. You're going to get that Trader Joe's cheapest of the cheap, or it's going to go all the way up to this. Got to have some nice ones in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do.
Can't be too cheap. So, here's this, $80, $100 bottle of Camus, right? You have to give them the thought, or at least the expectation that they could win one of those, and then you price them all in the middle. So you price them all at $25, $30, or $40, whatever it is, and then people feel like, okay, this is worth it. So, and I've seen them go high end. We did a high end spirit wall in New York, and I would tell you every single bottle of spirits is over $100.
Oh gosh.
Nice.
Yes, and it was not a cheap ticket to buy,
Yeah.
but some of those bottles were $600. So
What?
yes,
Oh my gosh.
I want to know who they know, but
Totally.
that's right.
Was
Some
that-
amazing friends. But
Wow. Is that like aged whiskey? Is that or aged what cost
this was like
$600?
Cristal or the champagne.
Oh,
like
yes,
Dom?
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
no, it was Cristal, but it was a massive
Oh,
bottle.
Like a
the
Magnum.
big guys.
No, bigger than a Magnum.
Oh.
Like I didn't even want to touch it.
Yeah.
It was so big.
Yeah.
And yes, apparently it was $600. So anyway, there was a bunch of those, and so again, the whole point is that they're either buying a number off the wall, or they sometimes call it a cork pull, where you have a basket of corks
Yes.
with the
That's
numbers on
another
it.
One, good
Yep.
one. Yep.
And there's a couple of ways to pull those off. Like in Handbid, you can either just say, hey, you know what, we're doing a whiskey pull or a wine pull, and there's 50 bottles. And so there's an item that you buy called that with limited quantity of 50. Or if you want the software to track what bottles everybody bought, you just put all 50 in the software. With a limited quantity of one, and then they know they bought bottle 16 or something. It's
And then that one's marked sold out, and nobody else can buy it again.
Yep. Hey, so just want to let you know this event is brought to you by Handbid. Handbid is mobile bidding and auction technology software built by fundraisers for fundraisers. So we're able to help you guys with everything from ticketing and registration to mobile bidding to live auction recording, appeals, you name it. And the nice thing is in addition to the software that we're able to provide, we have a ton of services we can offer you. If you need help getting everything set up, if you need coaching, if you need just counseling and advice on how to get through your event, if you need someone to show up and make sure that it runs smoothly, these are all the types of services that we offer. So if you want more information about what we do, please click on the link below or reach out to us at handbid.com, and we'd be happy to talk to you. For a lot of these games, also, you want to make sure that you have the ability to only sell them at the event, because obviously you don't want to be selling a wine cork to somebody who's not there. And you don't want them really buying them on their phones either.
No, you don't.
Right.
That's
Right.
is that what you recommend to our
for sure.
clients? Yeah,
Event
move
only.
it all to the
Yes.
iPads.
Yeah, we have a setting called Event Only, and that basically says the only place you can buy this is off of an iPad, which are used at our events. So I think that makes it a little bit easier. People can see what they bought on their phone, but they can't pull the trigger there.
Totally clear, I
Yeah.
think. It makes it very clear.
Okay, sorry. So keep going. You've got a lot on there.
I do. Okay, what about I'm just thinking of like almost like a mascot kind of thing. Like if you are an organization that has
Save the tigers.
Yes, thank you, Elise. That you could just have a bunch of stuffed tigers and sell them as a giveaway, not a giveaway, but just sell them as another stream of revenue to your participants, and then they can come home. Oh, I was at the Tiger Ball.
Or connect them to your gift card tree. So put a necklace around the tiger with a number on it, and they buy Tiger 12. Tiger 12 maps to an envelope in your folder, and in that envelope is
Your subway card.
yes, 2 tickets to the zoo. Woohoo.
Yes, exactly. So we love that. And then what about this whole idea of like this jewelry Kendra Scott
those
piece?
are so fun.
Yeah.
And they go so fast.
Okay,
I
so
swear
what's
every,
the price point on that, Elise?
They're a little higher, maybe
Okay.
around 100-ish,
Okay,
75 maybe, just depending on what you're getting.
okay.
But if you're guaranteed to have some kind of really fun jewelry, they go so
Yeah.
quickly.
Okay, so the
Yes.
concept is I'm going to pay you $100 and I pull from this category or just all this display that you have and I get a necklace or a pair of
Right.
earrings or something. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So and that's another idea which is similar to the wine wall, I guess. Okay. The golden ticket. Can we talk about the golden ticket for a minute?
Well, there's
Yeah.
so many ways to do it. I was at an event where, well, the golden ticket probably comes from a certain movie about candy that we all know.
Which we might not mention now due to licensing.
I'm not sure.
I love that movie.
But being that it's about candy and chocolate, everyone bought a $100 golden candy bar. And one person got the golden ticket. And that golden ticket gave them the right to have any of the live auction items.
Okay.
So
That is the way
yes.
I've seen it done
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, so I've seen that. I've also seen where you can kind of reverse that, where you can give out 3 winners and they get one of 3 spots. You have prizes you're giving away, and so those prizes are in these boxes. So you have like 3 winners, and so they go up there and they stand there, and then you auction off the 4th spot in a live auction.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And so now there's 4 people up there, and then whoever won the auction gets to pick first, and then the other people get to pick randomly their quote unquote box or whatever it is, open it up, and that's what you get.
Oh, very
so-
fun.
That
And
is
what do you
fun.
think is the price point on a golden ticket?
Oh gosh, I've not seen them sold for under $100 each.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, I was
Because
just
you're getting a
wondering.
live auction item if you
No
win.
kidding. Right.
And
Okay.
otherwise, it's a really nice donation.
Exactly. Can we talk about heads or tails?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's at every event.
It is.
Those are-
Okay.
Yeah.
That was when I was mentioning earlier that you have auctioneers or people who want to try to warm up the crowd or do a good transition. This is a good one because it's a very simple game. So a lot of times what you'll see happen is you'll see a transition happen from a program and people eating into, a live auction and a paddle raise, and people are talking, right? And the bar is racing because most live auctioneers, especially the good ones, want the bar shut down during the live auction so that it's not noisy in the back. So what you'll see happen is they'll play this game
Yeah.
because the game gives people a little bit of chance to get back organized, grab their drink, and then get to play this game, which should not take more than
It's
about 10 or
quick.
15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Max.
It's very quick.
Heads or tails is basically a 50-50 game. Most often run by an auctioneer who's up on stage who has some way of flipping a coin. A lot of times they're going to show up with a challenge coin, or very rarely is it like a quarter because those things fly places and you never
Oh,
find them.
that's
But it's a
hilarious.
big coin. We had one auctioneer who had an iPad app and he'd hold it over his
Yep.
head and tap the button and the coin would spin on the iPad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, or, guess what? Alexa and Siri will give you heads or tails too. So you can certainly ask them.
Okay.
So what people do is you sell like lives in a game, right? So I can have 1 live, or usually I see, what do you see? Like 1 life for $20 or 3 for 50,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah. And they give you a necklace, and the necklace represents your lives. So we always would recommend you max out at 3 per person. So then I have my 3 necklaces on. Elise has her 3 necklaces on. The whole crowd's participating. They want you to stand up, and then you're going to choose heads or tails. So you're either going to put your hands on your head, you're going to put your hands on your tail, and you have to hold them there, and then they flip the coin. And if you're wrong, you lose a life. And then when you're out of them, you sit.
Sit.
Okay.
And when there's 5 or 6 or 7 people left, they'll usually bring them up on stage, and then they'll finish the game up there.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. And again, it's one of those loosening up times. So
Yeah.
have them go to the bar, have them come back, have a little fun, and then sit down and make the big money.
And it's you make a little bit of money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually have to give a prize to the winner anyway, so
Yeah. And
you should break
have
even.
a decent prize too, please.
Yeah.
Don't have a lame one.
At least want you to have a good
Free
prize.
pick of a dessert from the dessert dash is not a good enough prize.
Okay, well, since we're still on kind of this live auctioneer directed thing, let's talk about last man standing, or we also hear it called the runaround.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
It is. This is a
Yeah.
hard concept.
is.
Yeah.
It's a paddle raise, but it is a game, right? And the whole intention here is whoever is the quote unquote last man standing or the last person to donate wins the prize. And this has to be a good prize, right?
Right.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is. I've seen like Bronco Suites. I've seen a whiskey wagon.
Ooh.
I saw a wine
know.
collection that was pretty impressive.
Wow.
And got
That's
people
fun.
into it
I
as
saw
well.
a
Yeah.
Yeti filled with Colorado beer. That was a fun
that
one.
sounds
Yeah.
cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
it does
key
have to
thing
be
is
good.
that the donation amount needs to be relatively small. The most I've seen it is 100, and then I'm going to tell you one thing: never do not let your auctioneer change that price. Okay, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. But either way, $100. I've seen it at 50.
25.
Yeah.
But then it goes on forever.
Yeah.
You got to be careful because it will go on. And so what happens is that people raise their paddle, they call out the paddles, and then when all the paddles are down, they say going once, going twice, and whoever was the last paddle is going to win. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes another paddle up because they want to be the last one. So it will go on for a while. I've seen them go on for 20 minutes.
I have too. And I would say my biggest request when I'm at an event and we have an auctioneer who does this, it is a great revenue generator for sure. But the auctioneer needs to be very clear that every time you raise your paddle, you are donating.
I was just going to say
That's
that.
right.
You don't get
It's a
to remove
commitment.
them if you don't win.
That's
No.
right.
It is a commitment.
Yeah.
It is, and that is why you also do not want them changing the price. So look, if it's going on too long, it's going on too long. I am sorry, but you cannot go from 100 to 200. You will confuse everybody, including your mobile bidding company who's trying to enter in all these numbers.
Well, I don't know. I don't get confused, but
When did they go to 200?
Yeah.
Oh, you wait till you have to go up to the lady who donated 4 times at 200 and say, well, it was really 800. And she's like, no, it was 100.
right.
As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
sorry,
it wasn't.
You missed that memo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but that's a really good point. I mean, it is an extension of the paddle raise. You are hopefully getting something great at the end, but you have to have, sounds like you have to have a skillful live auctioneer
you
who's a
do.
good communicator.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, okay. I love that as a
Yeah. And
revenue
it does.
driver.
I would say it's one of the larger revenue.
Yep.
Okay, so we
generators.
see that a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about we've sort of talked about have we talked about games of chance?
They're all games of
They're
chance.
all games
Like,
of chance. Okay.
Look, they're not gambling in a sense, but they are games of chance. And so you could argue they're gambling, but in most cases, they're not. But there are types of gambling that you can do at an event, and one of them is raffles, and raffles are regulated, and so you just have to be careful with those and just make sure that you understand what the rules are at your, not just your state, but also in your jurisdiction, okay? Because they change sometimes at the local county level. So just kind of know what those are. The big key there that you have, and we should just do a gambling episode, but the big key there is consideration, chance, and prize. Those are the 3 elements of gambling. And so you have to break one of those ties in order for it to not be gambling. So consideration means someone paying you money. Chance means the game itself, and then prize is the prize, okay? So, and it's got to be one of those things where there's not really any skill involved per se.
Okay.
So in this case here, if you want to break that cycle, that's why a lot of people, call things like prize drawings or whatever, need not donate or no purchase necessary. You'll see all the McDonald's like Monopoly things say that you can get a free one, and it is. You can definitely send a letter to McDonald's and they'll send you a free stamp. So the whole point of that is that you can and should have to allow people to participate for free, and then you've eliminated consideration, and now it's just chance and prize. So anyway, whole nother topic on that. But in a lot of these cases here, these are pretty harmless type games. You're making a purchase, you're picking a bottle of wine. It's kind of like a transaction.
I think the key for all of these is to have a few. They're really fun and they're typically low cost. If you're at a school event, maybe your teachers might want to participate. Maybe people who weren't going to spend much money, they won't turn down a bottle of wine or the chance to win a Yeti. But don't have too many either.
Yeah, I agree.
Dilutes them.
Yeah.
And do your homework if you're gonna if you're gonna be doing something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last 3 that I have on my list are centerpieces. And when we were putting this together, I heard an emphatic sigh from across the table.
Uh-oh.
Do these work?
It depends on your centerpiece for sure.
Okay.
They don't always work. But, sometimes you have gorgeous flowers that are $100, arrangements. Then, yeah, they do work. But
Okay.
I've seen a lot. It's like, here's a succulent. Well, Okay, thanks.
I can go to the grocery store for that
Exactly.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
So Mike, who's been on some of our episodes,
Yeah.
at his last
Oh,
event,
he has good ones.
oh my goodness,
What are they?
it
The
was
decanters.
it was a decanter,
Oh.
and it was absolutely gorgeous.
That's so cool.
And so you didn't have to buy it. I did. I bought mine.
And it
at my
has a
table.
little
So
auction
cool.
insignia on it,
Oh,
like
neat.
engraved or.
It did. It was really, really
sounds
neat.
really
Now that's
thought-
a neat
Yeah.
one.
That's thoughtful. It's
And
very
I
'Cause
think
I'm gonna-
he may have sold out.
He did, and you can put, I don't think he had one for every table, but what was nice about it is, like, I looked at it and said, I would actually put that in my house. So,
Well, we have a client who supports special needs adults and children, but the special needs adults will make the vases and the bowls,
Yep.
and then that client will use them as the centerpieces, and then we sell them table 76 bowl on our Handbid software. And so as soon as table 76 bowl is sold, then people know that. But it's a great revenue driver.
It is.
and it was even a better revenue driver when we put the picture of the kid who made it on the display sheet along with the item.
That is true.
And
That's awesome.
It wasn't
I
just
love it.
table 76 bowl. It was bowl made by Samuel.
Yeah.
What a
which
cute
was-
little kid he was.
Yeah,
Oh.
Something like
totally.
that. So-
What a great idea. Okay, another one is carnival games.
Oh yeah,
So,
yes. All sorts.
what do you see? Tell
Oh,
me some stories.
carnival games.
I heard of
Yeah.
a dunk tank.
Are you
Yep.
serious?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
we've
nev-
seen dunk takes. I've
Have
seen
you?
throw the baseballs at the milk jugs, throw the football through the hole.
We had somebody
yeah.
do a Plinko game, like good
Oh,
old
yes.
fashioned Price is Right. Plinko.
Yeah.
And then the last one I think deserves its own kind of place in the sun is voting.
Voting's awesome.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so my derby event for years, we did a hat contest and then a men's seersucker suit contest. And the best way to do those is to turn them into a revenue generator. And so when you walked in the door, we would take a photo of you if you were a contestant. We'd put you into the system with your name, and then you had a $5 vote connected to you. And so whoever raised the most money, quote unquote, got the most votes. There are voting scenarios out there where you want people to only cast one vote, but that's not really a revenue generator if you limit how many people you vote for.
Yeah.
So.
And I've seen them for like a Dancing with the Stars kind of event.
Yep.
And also, what have you seen them at?
Well, I will tell you, the Denver Zoo sent me an email yesterday about a new baby sloth. And they have a revenue generator to name the sloth. And sure enough, I looked at the cute sloth. I looked at the names. I talked to my kids about it. They got my money.
Yeah. I
So-
love that.
So
That's so
something
cool.
like that. If you have something special, you're naming your new mascot. If you're trying to think.
Well,
what else
taste
you
ofs
could-
for
yes.
sure.
Yeah, I was
you know.
going to say the chef's event.
Yes.
Okay, because
Yep.
you're kind of almost kind of tipping. You're tipping, but you're also voting for this was my favorite
Yes.
version
Yes.
of this.
Yep.
So I would say it's an easy
It is.
revenue
We've seen lip sync
driver.
ones,
Lip sync ones,
Fashion
right.
show.
fashion shows.
Uh-huh.
We used to do a fashion show for a jewelry company, and the contestants had to make all of their like dresses or outfits or whatever out of the packaging and wrapping and the materials that came from the company.
Wow.
It was kind of interesting, and it was amazing what they came up with. But they had various, divisions that you could compete in, based on your age and stuff. And so we implemented voting for them, so that's how they
Cool.
did it. And it was
awesome.
they had professional like judges at the event itself. But this was kind of like they called it the fan favorite. So the people that were in the stands
Yeah.
had another ability to kind of do this as well. And they made money off of it.
Okay.
You
That's
make a few
awesome.
grand off of votes. Why not?
Yeah. So I would say overall, we do see a lot of these
Yes.
kinds of
Yeah.
extra revenue drivers. I hope we've given you guys some good ideas.
And I would say nothing's off the table. Be creative, because
Yeah.
those are the ones that people are going to remember. They're going to say, oh, that event where they had the
Yeah.
whiskey wagon.
Keep it
or-
legal and make it fun, and
Yes.
kind of map it to your theme.
Yep.
I think you guys will have fun with it. Well, this has been a great conversation.
Very fun.
Thank you so much.
I know, and thank you for bringing your notepad again with
You're
your
welcome,
organized
Jeff.
list of
This
notes.
is what I do.
All right. It keeps us on task. And so anyway, we're going to wrap this podcast up by thanking you for listening in again. And if you have any other suggestions for things that you feel we should be adding as a quote unquote suggested revenue generator, go ahead and post those in the comments. And otherwise, we will see you next time on Elevate Your Event.